Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another analysis video, or I guess weekly outlook video. As usual, I already kind of went through the pairs. I kind of highlighted the stuff that I'm interested in looking at this week, so I'll talk you guys through it. I was just kind of having a look at Bitcoin, this Bitcoin chart that I did a little while ago. I think the last, I mean, I don't trade Bitcoin, but I just kind of like to mark it up to have a look to see what's going on, decide when is probably a good point to get in. So yeah, I had this kind of rising wedge happening, and then price kind of broke out of the wedge, breaking past these structural lows here, now breaking past these structural lows here, right? And you know, the next structure point we have is kind of around here and then maybe around here. So it'll be interesting to see what this thing does if it comes back to these previous highs. I don't know. I'll just be keeping an eye on it. I just find this interesting, the way that the way that this thing's been moving for some time. So anyway, moving on to Forex stuff. All right, so AUDCAD, on AUDCAD, I'm just managing this position that I'm in. Nothing changed really with my analysis here. So I was just looking for this price to kind of pull back into the level, into kind of this neckline of the head and shoulders pattern. So that happened earlier this week. So I took a position around this area. Closed half my profits right here on this candle close, so I closed some profits around there. So I'm just leaving this position to run to see what it really wants to do. If it continues in my direction, then great. If it pulls back and takes me out, then it's all good. Next pair on the list is AUDUSD. So this one's a little bit interesting. I mean, I was just paying attention to it last week. Didn't trade it last week as such, but I'm seeing this might start to push higher. So we've obviously been in this massive uptrend for a while, right? But then a couple of weeks ago, we started to make lower highs, lower lows. We kind of formed this double bottom area here, right? We had this previous low here that was tested once, kind of tested twice. I'll just draw in the level. So kind of around this level here is what I'm looking at, right? So we had, then it kind of came down, tested, rejected the level, started to push higher and started to form kind of higher highs. Right, and I guess you could probably say higher lows, right? But it's not super clear. But like on a 4-hour time frame, what I was looking at is so for me, like the way I like to measure momentum is by kind of just connecting the high points with like a trend line. I know I don't really use them as trading opportunities that much. I mean, if it's super clear, then yeah, maybe. But what I just like to kind of measure momentum of the strength of the trend, right? And you know, here this kind of sell happened very strongly, and then we had another high here, and then we had that strong momentum move, right, forming a lower low, series of lower lows. But then here we started to kind of move sideways, failing to break past these previous lows just here, and then we started to push higher, right? So we had that shift in momentum. You know, the sell move isn't as strong as it was before, right? And then what I was kind of looking at is where is it? So yeah, so if I just pull another trend line, again, trend line heavy here, so just connecting this low to these highs and then kind of extending it, right? You could kind of see we had like one area of support, and then came back, tested it as resistance, and then we broke past it and kind of came down and tested it as support. So, and then we also had this kind of range that we were stuck in here, this kind of range here, right? You know, where the momentum kind of slowed down. Stuck in this kind of range, kind of forming like a head and shoulders something, but it's really messy. But anyway, then we found momentum breaking past highs, having that shift in structure, and kind of at this level here, so for this area here, right, and starting to kind of range again. You could probably even say this is kind of even like a mini head and shoulders thingy-mabob. So there's no super clear trading opportunity here, but my bias is starting to change to so long opportunities, kind of shifting back into the major daily trend. So what I'll be looking for on this pair for any trading opportunities would be a clear kind of momentum move higher, right? A nice signal that it wants to push higher, come back down, retest the previous highs, and then look for that you know, continued momentum to the upside. So we'll see if that sets up. Although if it doesn't, it's all good. If it starts to kind of push lower, then that's all good too. I'll just kind of keep an eye on it to see what happens. Obviously, you need to pay attention to these highs as well, to see what price does when it gets there, if it gets there. So yeah, I don't know, I'll just keep an eye on it. CHFJPY, nothing super clear, but we kind of, so if we zoom all the way out, right, we're kind of in this kind of uptrend, but it's kind of been rangy, and then having, you know, it ranges and then has an impulse, ranges and then has an impulse. So right now it's kind of stuck in this wider range. But if we just look at just this area just here, right, we had that high, your low, your lower high, I guess you could say lower lows in the kind of rangy, messy price action that we have here. But then we had that shift where we started to form higher highs, right? And kind of maybe say we kind of having this corrective move after that impulse, right? Kind of having this kind of, I don't know, something like that. All right, kind of corrective kind of structure here, right? So it's not super clear, that's why it's red. So I just kind of want to see what price does in this area if it gathers momentum and breaks higher, right? So if we start to see some kind of strong momentum move past previous highs, then I want to pay attention to it to see if it wants to kind of continue in that direction, right? If that happens, then I'll be trading it to the upside. If it starts to crash lower, then I'm not interested at all. Euro AUD, so kind of a similar situation, right? But this one we had a similar situation in that it's kind of a little bit rangy, right? But we had this downtrend that was super clear for some time. Just jump to the daily time frame, right? So we had that super clear downtrend for some time, and then we started to form a series of higher lows, not necessarily higher highs, but you know, because this is my last high of interest, right? So if prices to break this high, then I'll probably start officially changing my bias to long positions. But just within here, even though we aren't breaking this high just yet, we're starting to form higher lows, right? And within here, we have higher highs on the daily time frame. So I'm just waiting to see this move still happen, that kind of breakout of this kind of slow, kind of corrective move. I mean, we might just be correcting here to push lower, kind of forming this, something like this, right? So had that impulse. Kind of probably could say this is a correction, right? And then maybe looking at that continuation, right? And if that happens, then cool. But I kind of thinking we're having a shift in structure here, just because we've been trending down for so long. But for me to get interested in long opportunities, I'd want to see that change of intent, right? That signal of intent for a strong move higher, breaking past these previous highs, and then I'll look to probably trade some long opportunities there. And obviously, if it starts to push lower, then you know I'll be interested in a break of these lows here, kind of these lows here, so that kind of continuation to the downside. EURCAD. So this one, I still have this bias of trying to trade this down to this origination point. So there's nothing really setting up on this pair. We actually broke past this trend line this week. We kind of wicked, well, not wick. I guess it'll be like a wick on the weekly. Yeah, there you go. So we kind of wicked past it on the weekly, testing these previous lows here on the weekly. But you know, it's not nothing that's super clear on this for me. I just want to try and get involved because as I said last week, right, I just have it in my head that we're gonna return to this point of origination. I don't know. I might just be making this up, but if that's what I want to see happen, so if it does set up, then I'll try to find some short opportunities. But if I'm just looking at price action on the daily time frame, right, we had the strong impulsive move to the downside, slow correction, very slow move, very slow continuation, sorry, and then we started to have that impulsive move, right? We had that impulsive bullish candle taking out all of this price action here, and then it kind of slowed off, right? And then we saw that impulse up and then a strong move back down, right? So it's kind of very indecisive at this level, and I'm assuming that's because of this type of activity that we had in the past. So you know, I'll just be keeping an eye on it, wait for it to make some kind of decision as to what direction it really wants to move in, and then I'll probably look to start getting involved in trades. But I still want to see that move happen, right? Whether it happens or not, I have no idea. But if I get a nice clear entry signal to get short, I will be getting short. Next pair on the list is EURJPY. So this one is kind of, it's just been ranging, right? So I actually thought we were seeing this kind of flag pattern, right, with the tightening of price. It's kind of messy to see here. I'll just move this out. Yeah, so this is what I was hoping we would see, right? This kind of tightening of price with higher lows, equal highs, testing that resistance, and then looking for that momentum move to break past the previous highs. Then look for that retest to come back and, you know, look for the continuation. But that flag pattern didn't form. Instead, we just ended up, this still valid, but this one has to be updated to something like that, right? So just kind of been stuck in this range, but within the range. On Friday, last week Friday, we had this massive bullish move to close off Friday, which wiped out an entire, I don't know how long this was, a couple of weeks, 2 weeks or so of price action. So analysis for me is still the same. We've been in this clear uptrend for some time. Just want to see price make this massive impulsive move, breaking past these highs, breaking past this resistance, come back, test it as support, then I'll look to get involved, right? So if I look at the forward time frame, you kind of see the price action a little bit more clearer, or a little bit more clearly, right? So it's just been kind of rangy. Tried to push higher, but then the seller stepped back in, pushed price right back into the range, and then Friday we had a lot of bullish activity, right? So just waiting for that confirmed breakout, preferably a nice daily close above the level, then come back, test it, and I'll look to get involved. EURNZD, still have that bullish bias, but it's kind of stuck within a range, right? So we have that shift in structure. So we had this downtrend that was very clear for some time, right? So if I just pull, I don't know what makes the most sense here, but I don't know, something like that. No, not really. So let's just update it to here. I don't know, something like that. That's pretty good. I like that. So something like that, right? But the whole point is we're forming lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Then we had that higher low, and then a massive impulsive move, right? Breaking past, I guess, the trend line, but more importantly, breaking past all this price action, right? That was a strong signal of intent. So since then, we've kind of started to form this. Well, this was a higher high, higher low, but then we failed to make a higher high, right? We didn't break past this previous high, and we didn't break past this previous low either. So we just kind of stuck within this range, right? Sellers were very strong kind of here, right? So we had slow buying pressure, strong selling pressure, and then it kind of slowed down last week. It's just been rangy. But my bias within this is kind of trades to the upside because of that shift in momentum here, just that strong bullish move. That for me is a strong sign that this thing probably wants to shift into some uptrend structure. And the fact that we weren't able to break past these lows and we weren't able to break past these lows, form equal lows, I kind of just have this bias to the upside. So I'll just wait to see what price does break. We're currently breaking past this kind of range highs here. So if kind of have a continued move higher, come back, kind of test those range highs, then I might look to kind of trade it to the upside. EURUSD. So this was a trade that I missed last week. So the first 2 weeks ago, I was kind of looking for this trade, right? For price to pull back into these highs. That never happened. Momentum was too strong. We broke. So we formed these kind of equal highs here. Then momentum picked up, breaking past these equal highs. And then I was looking for that retest to kind of come back to these broken highs. And my alert didn't trigger, right? So we had that wick into the level just here. So this is my alert. And that wick almost triggered my alert. What was the low of that? So the low was 1.19938, and my alert was 1.9936. So it missed it by 0.2 of a pip. Yeah. So anyway, so that was a missed opportunity, but we're currently breaking past these highs here. So I'll just wait to see if that might be a trade this week. If it is, then that'll be cool. So something like probably coming back to test these highs. We already broke past it, so we just see that maybe a continuation, rejection, something like that. If that sets up, then I'll be interested in trading that to the upside. Probably just move this higher, something like that. That'd be cool. So yeah, if that sets up, then I'll be interested in trading some long opportunities there. I don't know. That would work for me. So yeah, if that sets up, then I'll be interested in taking some long opportunities there. GBPCHF, just holding on to a trade here. So entered on this retest based off of this daily time frame. Kind of reversal pattern here. I'd call it a Quasimodo pattern, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like a kind of shifty head and shoulders, but on a steep incline or decline. But anyway, we just had that strong momentum move after some regular divergence here. So we had higher highs on price, but lower highs on the RSI. Right after that formed, we had a strong momentum move, breaking past these previous lows, came back, retested it with rejection, and then I just entered a short position there. So I don't know how far this thing will go. I I mean, these are probably unrealistic targets, but you know, if we kind of come back to this kind of level here before this strong impulse, then that would be a nice target for me. But I just kind of wait to see what price wants to do, and just kind of hold on to it as long as I can. GBPJPY, similar analysis as to GBPCHF, right? The only thing with GBPJPY is that it hasn't broken past the structure low just yet. So I'm just waiting to see, being patient. We're forming lower highs, right? So I just want to kind of see that push lower, breaking past these lows, and then I'll probably look to shift my bias into some short opportunities, right? We also have very, very clear divergence here happening as well. So you know, higher highs on price, lower highs on the RSI. So we just want to see that momentum move lower, breaking past these lows, and then I'll look to get involved in some shorts. GBPUSD, nothing super clear on this pair for me, but we kind of been in this uptrend for a while, and then we had this kind of slow correction back into these broken highs here. We formed this kind of double bottom formation, a little bit lower past the level, but then more importantly, we had an impulsive move higher, breaking past these highs. So if I just jump to the lower time frame, what I'll be interested in seeing to get some trades on this pair is I'd like to see price pull back into these broken highs here. I don't know if that will happen, right? But if it does, then you know, that's going to provide some nice risk to reward long opportunities if it does set up, right? And I think I could get rid of this RSI for now. So if I pull a fib kind of from this from that impulsive low to the highs, so that's a little bit deeper than a 618 retracement. The 618 kind of lines up with this little bit of a order block here, which we already rejected and started to push higher. But that was a weak push higher compared to kind of this sell move, right? That's a strong sell move here, and that's kind of a weak push higher. So if I pull this fib to these lows right here, so then that lines up a little bit better, right? So that's like a 618, perfect 618 retracement. Confluence with the previous highs. I'll be interested in something like that if that sets up. If I just kind of connect these highs there, yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, if price pulls lower back into these levels, I'll just set an alert here. Yeah, if that sets up this week, I'll be interested in just trading some long opportunities there. If we get some nice price action at the level, that would be pretty cool. All right, GBPNZD, I think this one's messy. Yeah, I just want to pay attention to this one to see what it does. This analysis kind of played out. I wasn't going to trade it, but it played out as, I guess it kind of played out as predicted. So we had that move back into these levels after this impulsive. So we had an impulsive move lower, breaking past these previous lows, breaking past this previous area of resistance, came back up, tested it. Rejection wasn't super clear, kind of pushed up into this kind of shoddy trend line. I don't know. I could probably just delete that. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't super clear, so that's why I didn't trade it. But yeah, anyway, we had the rejection. We had a kind of spike higher, broke back, then it came back, retested it with rejection, and then we had that move lower. A very, very slow kind of corrective move compared to the impulse that came before it. So it's not the strongest sell move, but on a major kind of daily trend, we've been forming this kind of slow, trickly, rangy uptrend. So yeah, I'll just kind of pay attention to this pair this week to see if it makes any impulsive moves. I have a feeling we might, I don't know, it might kind of continue to range lower, come back into this trend line, but I'll be interested in trading it if it starts to form more uptrend structure, right? If it does something like that, then that's cool. Or if it just kind of takes off from where it is now, to kind of continue in this with that strong bullish move, then I'll just wait for it to break higher, come back, retest it, and then look for continuation. Anytime, I don't know what will happen. It's kind of messy. I'm just keeping it on my list to see what it does. But yeah, there's nothing super clear on this pair for me. Same with NZDCAD. I don't know. It's trending, right? It's trending kind of heavily, right? So we've been getting some nice moves on this pair. Recently, there was this trending move here. This is the move I was interested in. Well, based on my analysis, right? This is what I've kind of been interested in, right? So we had this kind of move here, right? So if I just do something like that, well, yeah, something like that, right? So we had price was making higher highs, higher lows. So right here, we started to make this higher high, breaking past these highs, higher low, but it was a deep retracement, right? Then we failed to make a higher high here, right? Came back, made a kind of deep retracement, and then we kind of had that I think it would be like a little liquidity move, right, past these previous highs. If we were to zoom out here, right, because there are a lot of people trying to get short probably at these levels here, right? So my assumption, if I just kind of poke that in somewhere like there, right? So we had that spike higher, wiping out people trying to get short at these highs, right? And then we had that, we grabbed enough liquidity to then push price lower, breaking past these previous lows. So if I just put another kind of ray on here, right? So we broke past these previous lows, came back, retested it, had another move lower, nice strong impulsive move, sort of like a little accumulation phase, and then we had a nice continuation move, right? Then we started to have this retracement. So what I'm looking for is if I just pull a Fibonacci from the highs here to the lows there. So this area here lines up perfectly with that 618, right? So just that yellow line there, right? So that lines up perfectly with that 618. So if price kind of finds a little bit more strength to pull into that level again, I might be interested in trading this to the downside. But I want to see that like a continued kind of corrective, very slow corrective move back to the level, right? Find some rejection, and then I'll look for that continuation. If that sets up, that would be really nice. Well, that'll be a nice trade for me. So yeah, something like a retest there, something like that, right? Obviously we could just see price continue lower from here, or you know, price just might continue higher, right? But I'll be interested in probably trading this as long as I see the right price action at the level. So I'll be looking for something like that. And then NZDCHF. So this one is a little bit interesting. So if I just jump to, right, so the daily time, to the 4 hour time frame, right? So we have kind of, I don't know, let me see. So something like, let's see, something like this. Let's see what makes some sense here. So if I just copy this, right, and just pull that down, kind of, maybe, almost, yeah, maybe. So you kind of have this little channel-y thing, right? So yeah, so what I'm seeing on this pair, if I just extend this, is that gonna line up like that? I don't know, something like that, right? But what I'm looking at is that we had this strong bullish move, right? We had a strong bullish move on, you could see it clearly on the daily time frame. All right, so we had that strong impulsive move on the daily time frame, and then we had that kind of slow corrective move back into these previous highs, right? So we had that move back into the previous highs. That would have been a nice trading opportunity, but I missed that opportunity. So from here, what I'd like to see is a nice impulsive break past the highs. So if we get, where is it? So if we get that nice, I mean, it might kind of retrace and kind of stick within this corrective structure for some time. I don't know. But what I'd like to see is a break past these highs. Right? If we get a nice impulsive move past those highs, come back, retest it with rejection, then I'll look for that kind of continuation, right? Then on the 4 hour time frame, so right here, so these previous highs, that's what I'll be looking at. So if we see that nice impulsive move past these highs, then I'll be interested in taking some long opportunities there, right? So kind of something like that, right? So yeah, I'll wait to see if that sets up this week. It might take some time for that to set up. If it does, it might just kind of range within this for a little while. I don't know. It might just crack. It might just crash lower. Who knows, right? So yeah, I think that kind of wraps up all the pairs for the week. No, USDJPY. Let's see. So USDJPY on the daily time frame. So we kind of, it's a very steep move, right? If you just look at it zoomed out here, it's a very steep move. But it came back to that trend line there, and it kind of had this indecision candle, kind of rejection, doji-ish candle. I don't know what's going to happen, but for me to get involved in this pair, because we had that slow corrective move back into the trend line, right? It was very slow and choppy, very slow and choppy coming in here. So I'll just wait to see if we get a shift in structure. So a nice impulsive move higher, right? Breaking past these previous highs, right? Look for a confirmed sort of rejection, and then look for that kind of continuation. I have it marked in red because I'm not super keen on this. I might just kind of pay attention to it to see what it does. But if we have a nice, strong, decisive move, like if I see a bullish candle, something like this candle here, right? A nice, strong momentum move, then yeah, I'll probably be interested in trading this for that continued bullish move that we've been seeing for some time. Even though we kind of had a shift in structure, right? We broke past these lows here, all right? So that's, I don't know. That's why it's red, right? It's not super clear. So I don't know. I'll just pay attention to it to see what it does. All right. And that kind of wraps up the pairs that I'm looking at. Yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And as usual, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you think these videos would be useful to anyone, please feel free to share it with them to pass on whatever knowledge. Right. Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.